please, everybody, give a warm welcome to Winston.
Oh, what? Oh, maybe not. Yeah, like that.
Beautiful.
Okay, how y'all doing tonight? Good? Okay. Wow, it's been a while since I've been in front of a mic. Okay, where do I start with this story? So my story starts when I was in second grade. I was finishing up a test, and me and a lot of some of my knucklehead friends were all together finishing up this test, and we were late to lunch. I was one of of that last little bit of people to finish. I was one of the first to finish. I was waiting for my friends, and they finally finished, so we ran down to lunch so that we could eat before lunch ended and not have to be hungry for the rest of the day. We all remember how when we were younger, there was always a rule that you couldn't really run in school, especially at that age, because we were still learning our motor skills. I know that now because I work with children, and I have to enforce that rule. So it was no different when I was in second grade. This story takes place in Baltimore, and I was in Baltimore County at the time, and I was in a Baltimore County school, so not too many of the students I was in class with, not too many of them looked like me. I was one of the darker students. And while we were running down the hallway, a teacher comes out and stops all of us and says, like, why are you running? You know you're not supposed to be running. Like, you're all going to be in trouble. And so we're all trying to explain, like, oh, we're trying to get to lunch. We just want to eat so that we're not hungry. And she says, okay. You stay. The rest of you go. I was the person that she picked out. And at the time, I was no stranger to what it was like to be treated that way. Because even at that young age, I'd heard my father's stories, who's not even from this country, but if you have a certain appearance, you get a certain treatment. I'd heard my aunt's stories. I'd heard my older cousin's stories. I'd heard my mother's stories. I'd heard the stories of my grandmother as well. So this was no secret to me. I understood very well from a young age what was going on. And so she pulled me into her office. And of course, I'm like, that's not fair. Like, why am I the only one to get stopped? And, you know, she couldn't really give an answer. And things got a little out of hand, and I reacted very violently. You'd be surprised what you could do when you take a piece of metal to somebody's head. I missed lunch that day, so I went back to class very hungry. Next thing I know, my father is like there to pick me up early, and I'm like, yes, I get to go home early. I had completely forgotten about what I did beforehand. And as we were pulling out of the school, I guess my father beat the cops. There were like 3 police cars coming in pulling into the elementary school. Wow, how do I end this story? I wound up getting expelled, and I never thought that at that young age that I would be treated that way. But just to end this story on more of a positive note, that expulsion wound up being like one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it allowed me to go to a school called Brims Lane, and my principal knew the alum of Bowdoin College, and this Bowdoin College alum came back to Baltimore and said, I want to do something for African American youth, for like kids like me, to get them out of Baltimore, Oh, was that a timer? Oh, okay. Oh, there's a timer. To get them to know that the world is bigger than just Baltimore. You don't have to resort to like drugs or gang activity to be successful. And that's why I wound up going to Bowdoin. That's why I was the first person in my family to graduate from Bowdoin because of this. Yeah, thank you. I was the first person in my family to graduate because of this alum. yeah, and now I'm here. Yay. I think that's all for my story. Thank you.